Everything I learned about people, I learned from Thomas.
Oh, you had to bring your sticker book, did
I
you?
always bring my stickers with me, you know that. Take Tangerine here. He's a Gordon. This blue one. And Gordon is the strongest, the most important, but he doesn't always listen to others.
What's that now?
I mean, some people are Edwards, wise, kind. Some are Henrys, hardworking, strong. Some people are Diesels. That was the trouble.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello. This is Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
Yeah, I hit record and start, and Sam was here, and then he disappeared during the intro.
And I wasn't watching, so I didn't know that. So I'm sorry. Well, this is the typical way that things run. That's our luck.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Well, let me. Oh, he's back. Okay. Oh, he was doing some stuff. All right, so we're back.
Maybe.
Oh, well, he's got some old stuff going on. All right. Well, hey Sam.
Yeah. Hey, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Oh my gosh. Of course I'd have a crash. I was trying to log in and then it totally took me out of everything. So
That's
hey guys.
Hey.
It wouldn't be a normal cheap seat reviews without me and technical issues. So
That's what I was just saying. That's great.
So we're back. We are back. We had about a 2-month hiatus there. And
Yep.
So if you're listening, I will say this. Obviously you're listening. You can't be participating.
I'm listening.
You could be watching, I guess.
I'm not.
It's funny you say that, Sam, because I have a clip later that's very appropriate for that. So we were gone for a couple of months, and there was various reasons for it. And what I will say is this: part of those reasons was that Sam was, I think you were gone like a week or two, and Andrew, you were going through your master's, and you got your master's, so congratulations.
Thank you.
But it was a very stressful time for you, and so it just made sense to take some time off. But there was some other stuff that happened, some personal stuff with me that I'm not going to get into it on the podcast. That's some very private stuff that was made very public. And we're all about moving forward from that. And we'll simply say that going forward, you will never see me on Twitter ever again. That is a place that I won't go. So any interaction you have is with Sam, and he's taken over that.
Oh crap! I haven't done anything on there in weeks.
And that's perfectly fine.
I often forget that I even have a Twitter.
I know. I'm so bad.
We still have Facebook. We still have Facebook, and we still have Discord. And I am there. So if you want to interact with me personally, we have gotten a few messages. We've gotten a few emails of people saying, "Hey, are you guys okay?" We're good. We're good, and we're back. So, yes. In fact, I've already jokingly said this to Sam. This is season 2 of Cheapseat Reviews. Welcome to season 2. Season 1 was 9 years long, yes,
but first season was
a long season. So maybe season 2 won't be 9 years. I don't know. In fact, because when we started Cheapseat Reviews, seasons weren't a thing for podcasts. You just recorded and then you stopped. So
no,
well, 9 years from now, Sam might be in a nursing home. Who knows?
That's true. Might be dealing with my catheter.
So that's really all I'm going to say about any of that. For the people that need to hear more have already heard it, and any other explanations that need to be said have been said to those who need to hear them. So I apologize if you looked for this episode for any juicy bits. There's no juicy bits. I wish I hadn't used that phrase now, but anyway,
I just ate, so
juicy bits.
Juicy bits, yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be the name of the episode, by the way. I'm not.
Please no.
Juicy bits. That sounds awful.
Yeah,
but exactly. we're gonna continue on. There's going to be a couple little tweaks that we've done in the show. We hope you like them. Maybe you won't. I don't know. We'll find out. But I will start off with, as I always do, and say This is episode 438, and tonight we're talking about Bullet Train. Bullet Train that came out in 2022, just last year. Pretty new film. Heard a lot of good things about it, so I was pretty excited to watch it, and I never did because I just expected.
Wait, you never watched the movie?
I hadn't.
I thought we were doing
it
this movie
until-
for this podcast.
Well, we did. Yes, I hadn't watched it up until last night, because I knew we would do it for the podcast. There's a lot of movies that come out. I'm like, ooh, that looks great for the show, so I won't watch it yet. And this was one of them. Had you guys already watched this before the movie? I think, Sam, you said you had, right? It was pretty.
Yeah. In fact, I just finished it a second time about 45 minutes ago.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, I watched about a minute and a half of it until there was a somewhat naked lady on the screen, and I realized my children were also in the room, so I had to turn it off. And then I came back and finished it yesterday. So I started it from the beginning because honestly, the first minute and a half I didn't really remember. So
yeah, that's fair. Naked women can make you forget things. I understand.
Yeah.
So, but before I did any of that, I also still need to tell our listening audience who you two are. So I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew. Never underestimate the power of a water bottle, Jimison.
that's right. I often get the glass water bottle so that I can use it as a weapon.
Love that scene so much. Got anything sparkling? Oh yeah, sure. And then when he throws it, the sound that it makes, it's just great. That dunk, dull, just thump is great. And Sam,
what?
did the snake survive the train crash? Vector.
He did. In fact, that was one of the
Mhm.
things I noticed at the very end this time. The snake did slither on after the giant crash on there. But Sean,
Yes.
you see this skylight over here on this moving train that we're on?
Yes.
Let me lift you up to show you what's up there. And just put about half your body through that, okay?
Just it was pretty close to as close as you can to doing a scene from Speed without completely copying the scene from Speed.
Mhm.
There was a lot of things taken from other movies, but I thoroughly enjoyed some of the takes. for
Yeah.
sure.
I did too. I'll just go ahead and I don't mind saying this right now. I had a riot with this movie. It's been, I mean, frankly, it's been a while since I've watched a movie. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. In the 8 weeks that we've been off, I've maybe watched 2 movies.
Right.
Um,
Well, and to be fair to our listeners, we have done a deep dive into Fortnite, the three of us. And most of our free time has been playing that stupid game.
yeah,
So,
Yeah,
we're easily
not
on their
proud of
podcast
that.
this week.
I know, right? I know. I'm a little embarrassed when my daughter is telling her friends about all my Fortnite play, and
Yeah.
and getting pointers from sixth graders is interesting.
When I can walk into the middle school classroom and hear someone say, "Are you hitting the gwitty?" and know what that means, I don't think I should as a grown man. I don't know why I should know what that is, but I do, thanks to Fortnite.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So, gosh, now I'm trying to remember what it was. I saw something in the theater.
Well, I just saw Guardians last week.
I
Yeah,
saw
me too.
Ant-Man. I saw Ant-Man 3.
Yep, and Ant-Man 3.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
I shouldn't say it's not. We've watched more because I've watched a handful of movies with the kids. You know, family movie night.
Yeah, but that's different. Like
But almost nothing new.
podcast type movies, I have not watched.
Yeah, I mean, just to sit down and watch. Now, I will say this, and Sam, you've given me a lot of grief about not watching anything new TV wise. Though this was not new, but it was new to me. I did binge all of Star Trek: The Next Generation in this time period, in this 8 week time period. I watched all of it, and I really enjoyed it. I still would probably rank it third among the, third of what we call the 4 Rick Berman Star Trek era. That's Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and then Enterprise. I would actually rank it third, which some people don't like, but I like Deep Space Nine and Voyager better than TNG. But now I've actually moved on to Picard, and Picard's very different, and I'm enjoying it. season 1 and 2 are very different. Season 3 feels more like TNG, but just a very adult version. Like I could watch all of TNG right now with my 10-year-old. I can't watch any of Picard with my 10-year-old.
Huh.
They use the F word too many times.
Really?
There's the violence is amped up. I mean, it's whatever is in between PG-13 and R. Like, it's violent. There's some violence in this. And I think I posted on Facebook today. I love Old Man Worf. Because there's
something at the beach.
Yes, one of the complaints that people have is
It's where the old guys go to hang out.
Yeah,
They
it's
go down
where
to
the Old Man Wharf is. Yeah, you're not wrong. They're in their Bermuda shorts and they're so like one of the complaints is that like Worf is supposed to be the big strong guy, right? And it feels like he loses nearly every fight that he encounters in TNG, right? Like he's the strong guy, but he loses all the time. In the handful of fights that he's in this series, in Picard season 3, he doesn't lose fights. He's like finally the badass we all want him to be. It's actually pretty great. So anyway, that's kind of a catch up of what we've been doing. But time for our 5-word review on. Actually, no, we need to know what this movie is. Bullet Train, in case for some chance you don't know what it is. So Andrew, please tell us what is Bullet Train.
Brad Pitt stars as Ladybug, an unlucky assassin determined to do his job peacefully after one too many gigs gone off the rails. Fate, however, may have other plans, as Ladybug's latest mission puts him on a collision course with lethal adversaries from around the globe. There you go.
Did they really use the phrase "go off the rails"?
They did, and I didn't.
Nice.
I didn't. This was a cold read. I didn't read this beforehand, and that's why I hesitated, because I didn't know whether to laugh or say, "Oh."
Yeah. I mean, I
Oh,
don't
bless.
as much. That wasn't IMDb though, was it?
No, that was from Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, I would say that was too good to be IMDb.
I have learned since our in a brief intermission that we've had that Rotten Tomatoes has much better descriptions of movies than anywhere else.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
good. Well, maybe we'll stick with them for a while.
I don't think I've ever gone to Rotten Tomatoes. I've seen their score, but I've never actually gone to see what it actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Also
they just
for-
have better writers.
I also have to say this real quick before we move on. So for those who listen to the podcast, we appreciate you. It might be worth scooting over to YouTube just to watch Sam's floating head for a little bit, because he's wearing a green shirt. So StreamYard can't tell if it's supposed to be a green screen or not. So every now and then, especially when Sam has a dark screen on his computer, and his head disappears. He's just like a floating head in the middle of an aisle of a train. It's pretty great.
Yeah, see, now you kind of look like Doctor Strange. I mean, there's even like a weird collar behind you.
Yeah, it's pretty great. All right,
Nice.
5-word review. Sam, what you got?
All right. I only have one tonight, mainly because I forgot that we did this and I waited until you started talking to do it. But mine is Twisty Turny Comedic Action Ride.
Okay.
And I went into this not knowing what this was, right? I saw the previews, and Brad Pitt was kind of this kooky character that, portraying. I loved his character, by the way. Yeah. I thought he was perfect in the Ladybug role that he was. We all expect him to be just the guy who wins everything, right? And he kind of does, right? I mean, that's kind of what the movie is about, right? Where he thinks he's bad luck, but really it's bad luck to the people around him and not him. But I enjoyed this weird twisty turny, everything was interconnected. There was a reason for everything. Everything kind of paid off in this movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed the escapism of it all. Really, I mean, you're gonna have to turn your brain off, but you got to keep it on to understand what everybody's relationship is. in this movie. Tangerine and Lemon were awesome characters, and it's like there's so many different weird people in this movie. It reminded me a lot of Smoking Aces, where it was a lot of character work. Even kind of Oceans, the Oceans movies where you're dealing with a lot of characters intermixed with each other. But this felt like it felt like a murder mystery wrapped into an action adventure. And I can't really think of any movie to really compare it to that I've seen before. And that's probably why I enjoyed it so much, is because there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting and that I had never seen before popping on the screen here. Now they took some, we were talking before, they took some scenes from other movies and kind of flipped them on their heads. The classic samurai, the classic train accident. How many people died in this movie? I mean, not just on the train, but all the people in the houses and the other train that they ran into. And there was a lot of death in this movie.
I really hope that other train was empty.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was cheering this whole movie on the entire way because I loved every bit of it. I really did.
Nice. All right. Andrew.
Well, I don't know if mine's 4 words or 5 words because there could be a hyphen, but Tweetsy Railroad's meth head cousin.
Well, that's only a joke you'll get if you're
North Carolinians.
Yeah, if you don't know Tweetsy Railroad, if you've never had the experience of riding it, it's basically like this movie. I think that you should come to North Carolina,
go to the
Tweetsy Railroad and give it a whirl, because you will experience what Bullet Train is all about.
Yeah, except that it's a coal burning locomotive.
And very slow.
Yeah.
And I only have memories of it from when I was like 5, so I don't even know if it's still the same. Probably not, because it was pretty racist back then.
Well, no, I did it about 1.5 years, 2 years ago with the kids, and they still do Cowboys and Indians.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. Well, maybe not. Now I'm thinking of it. No, it might just be cowboys shooting cowboys. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had roommates that would work the summer at Tweetsy.
Yeah.
And they would be the Indians up there, and they had lots of stories to tell.
About those are funny stories. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, portraying the Cowboys and Indians. It was pretty cool.
Did you have another one, Andrew, or is it just the one today? Did Andrew freeze? Did we lose Andrew? He has a very peaceful face that the screen has frozen on him.
Oh no.
He was having internet troubles last night, wasn't he? Or the night before?
Yeah, the night before. Yeah, he's just staring at us.
The judgmental dad, or it's just his band director face. Like he's just a little disappointed in us, Sam.
Right? It is a little judgmental there.
Yeah.
Andrew.
No, yeah. We'll just
okay. We'll just, there he goes.
No, I put him.
You booted him.
Oh,
okay.
There. Now he disconnected. All right. Well, I'll do mine.
All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, I can't wait for Andrew. So I did 2 this time. I did 2. So one was just get off the train. This is one of those movies where if the character can just get off the train, it's a short movie, but then we wouldn't have a lot of fun. And my second one is Mr. Smith rides the train. So this feels like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the movie, but this is just, he's retired from that. They got divorced, and he's still in the same line of work, but now he's just doing this. He's working for Sandra Bullock, and it's just the same. It's just the same thing. So, but like the divorce made him like all zen and happy and whatever. Welcome back, Andrew.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know if you heard me answer your question or not, but
no, we couldn't hear you. You completely froze. But you had a very peaceful look about you. It was like both peaceful and also like concerning, like you were a little disappointed in us.
No.
Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed. I am disappointed in my internet service provider. But other than
Yeah,
that,
that's been happening. Has it been happening a lot to you?
yeah, the past week
Feels
it's
like
been
it.
bad.
Yeah.
It's been bad. So I will continue, I guess. I had a good time with this movie. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, and it wasn't. Maybe I expected more out of it, because I felt like some of the stuff didn't necessarily land, and maybe I don't know. I just kind of expected more of a comedy, and I think the last thing that I really watched, other than Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, was probably Glass Onion, and I kind of expected more of the same, if that makes sense, because that type of comedy, I felt like this might have been just Glass Onion on a train in some ways. But anyway, I had a good time though. I enjoyed it. It was a good watch.
Good. Yeah. For me, and Andrew, my first 5 words, just so you can hear it, was just get off the train. That was my first one. Is that I had such a blast with this, and I love. So this movie kind of feels like a Guy Ritchie movie a little bit.
Yep. Little witty dialogue.
Very witty dialogue. And the timeline isn't, linear, right? We bounce around, right? Like we're introduced to a character, and then at the beginning of the movie, like we have no concept of what's happening at the beginning of the movie, right? Like in the movie, it's called Bullet Train, and we're in a hospital, and we're with this Japanese man, and he's with his son, and you're like, what is happening, right? And it takes a little while to get onto the train. And then once we finally do, we start introducing characters, and then we get like a backstory. And then we introduce a thing, and then we get a backstory. And then we introduce a thing, and we get a backstory. I mean, we got backstories for the snake and a water bottle. I mean, I thought it was brilliant. I really did. And that same, I think you mentioned it earlier, like there's a payoff for everything. Like everything in the movie that's introduced has a reason that was introduced and a payoff, right? It's not just the fact that he shows off that he has stickers as a joke. He uses it to identify his would-be killer.
Yep.
And I don't know. It's just like everything in the movie was just connected, and it's so
even the fruit truck at the end. The very first time I watched the movie, I did not wait for the credits.
Yeah.
And I 2 minutes into the credits, they do a little cutscene, and you realize who's driving that truck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Well, and it was funny because like when she does get hit, right, you're like, oh, that was a tangerine truck. So the tangerine did get the killer. Because he was going to, like, that was the point, is he was going to shoot her and whatever. And the way White Death died too, with the fact that the girl's gun, in fact, did in fact
it did work.
it was brutal. But yeah, this movie, it's violent, by the way. So I know we have a few listeners, especially Rosie, who I've been kind of in contact with. Rosie, I hope you're
Rosie might not want to avoid this one.
I've already messaged
little
her.
Too much.
So my wife watched this one with me, and we got about 10 minutes into the movie, and my wife said, Rosie will not like this.
Was it the wedding scene that did it, or what was it?
Definitely the wedding scene was my wife. For me, was too much for her. She had to bury her face in her phone. She could not handle that. That scene was pretty brutal.
Oh, everywhere you looked, it was great.
Yeah, it was
hilarious.
It was awful. But yeah, no, again, I think I said this, well, it's been 8 weeks or whatever, but it feels like I've said this pretty recently in the life of the podcast. But it's been a while since a movie got me excited to watch it again.
Yeah, I will say the second time around, because I watched it for the second time, I wanted to be fresh in my mind. I enjoyed it even more. Because I was trying, because I had kind of a little bit connections, that I remembered from the first time, but now that I saw it the second time, like, I noticed that, or I noticed that, or I noticed that.
Yeah.
And little things like, you know, he loses his keys to the locker,
Mhm.
and he just picks the lock. He has a lock pick on him. He just boom, and he's in. You know, it was like it was nothing to him.
Yeah.
And it's just little things. It was really cool.
Yeah. So there's a funny cameo in the movie, and I didn't realize the cameo until I looked up, because again, I don't pull up IMDb when I'm watching it for the first time. So when Ryan Reynolds is
Yes.
what's his name?
Carver.
Carter.
Yeah. Carter. Thank you. Yeah, it's Carter who's a dick. Yeah, that guy just sucks. He's lazy, and like he's just making fun of him. And it wasn't until I realized that this is the same director that directed Deadpool 2.
Yeah, it came around, right? It came around. Brad Pitt had his little.
Brad Pitt had a cameo in that movie, and so that's why Ryan Reynolds was in it. And that also explains why Zazie Beetz was in this. So
yeah,
it's like, it all kind of makes sense. So. Because we were watching, my wife said, who directed this? I said, I don't know. And she said, it feels like that guy that you like to watch with the movies with the fast talking, the British fast talking. I'm like, Guy Ritchie? She goes, yeah. So I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him. So it did kind of have a feel. I mean, it also, you know, two of the characters that were British in the movie.
That helped.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a little upset that Tangerine did end up dying. I mean, this is obviously we're doing spoilers here, because I could have totally watched a whole movie with those guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, I almost would like to see Lemon and Ladybug do a movie together. The Odd Couple, right? Yeah. It'd basically be the Odd Couple, you know, as assassins, and
well, and
they could pull that off in this world they've created, and have more of these kind of weird, intricate, crazy people in it.
Because even like towards the end where Lemon's like, I might have lost my real brother, but I found another one. He's like, really? He goes, no. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, and the movie for me, because Sam, you said like you were expecting it, or maybe Andrew said, sorry, that you were expecting it to be actually like funnier. Like this movie for me had like the perfect amount of funny versus not, because like the funny almost came out like out of nowhere, right? Like there's times where you can tell we're in the funny when like the two of them are back and forth with Thomas and whatever. But like the scene where with Zazie and him, you know, they're fighting, and then she stabs him with the poison, and then he stabs her, and so he's waiting to see what she does, and then he steals the antidote from her real quick, and then stabs himself in the neck.
But then he's sitting there. Do you not have another one?
You don't have another one? I'll be more prepared, you know. Like,
would you like some water? Would you like a blanket?
He's bleeding out of all of her face. It's really awful to watch and listen to, because she's making these awful gagging sounds, and you can't help but laugh because you need water. Can I get you a blanket? Do you want to just hold your hand? I mean, it's so silly. I mean, it's just downright silly, and it made me happy. So I really enjoyed this movie.
I mean, there were some funny moments, like when the wolf and he are fighting, and Ladybug are fighting on the train, and he throws his knife, and it bounces off the briefcase, and then goes back and stabs himself.
Yeah,
like I know that. I don't know if that was really intended to be funny, but I thought that was a little funny.
I laughed.
Absolutely. Well, that was right after they pumped up this big story about the wolf too.
Yeah.
Right. So this giant backstory about the wolf, and you're thinking, oh, this guy's a major character. This guy's going to be in here for a while, and then like instantly he's dead.
Yeah,
he's gone. One fight.
He only has like 2 lines in the movie. Like I think he howls, and then he says cortisone a couple times. Heart in Spanish. I'm not saying it right, but like that's it. I mean, his whole backstory was done in montage form for about 3.5, 4 minutes, and we got to see how this guy. And you almost feel bad for him, right? I mean, there are actually, because everyone in the movie, technically, everyone in the movie is a bad guy, right? They're killers. They're contract killers. I mean, they're people that do kill for a living. You sympathize with Brad Pitt because he feels like he's like he doesn't really want to do that. He doesn't want to hang around with.
He just does the smash and grab. He doesn't kill, or he doesn't like guns. He uses sleeping medicine instead of poison.
Yeah,
that was.
So you sympathize with him, a lot, but Tangerine and Lemon, you kind of root for them, even though these guys, butchered a whole lot of people, but they butchered bad guys, so you kind of give them,
right.
And the dad, the father, he pulls a gun on this little girl, but you sympathize, like, well, she pushed his son off a roof, like,
Yeah,
I think I'd be pretty upset.
We would all be
as well.
Pretty angry.
Well, even the older father was part of the mafia.
Yeah,
or part of the. So he even wasn't a total good guy.
Yeah, I mean, no one is innocent in this movie except for the train girl that was like offered him the water.
Sparkling,
yeah, but yeah, like, everyone's.
Whoa, wait, sparkling. But then he had the other guy pay for it.
Yeah, he's
right.
like, I don't have my wallet, and he paid for it. Like, it was such a funny moment, just a real moment. He's like, man, I don't have any cash. And he's,
I gave it all to the guy with the glasses and the hat.
Yeah. Channing Tatum, that was another cameo. He's like, is this a sex thing? No. Oh, okay. Well, okay.
I like the way he walks.
Yeah, and then there was another one later because when he sticks a gun up to him or whatever, and he's like, "Hey man, is this a sex thing or something like that?" Like he was ready for it. That's just funny. And that's almost like it was almost like it made me laugh. Channing Tatum's character made me laugh, but it almost made me want him to be in it just a little bit more. But yeah, probably just enough. I don't know. He's weird though, and like when he does these movies, like, did you guys ever see the second Kingsman and the Golden Circle?
Yeah,
no.
I remember like they advertise it, Channing Tatum starring, it's the main characters, but
he was a cowboy or something in it or something.
Yeah, he's a cowboy. Yeah, the American version of the Kingsman, they're all like cowboy rednecks, Jeff Bridges is the leader, and they so like in the Kingsman they do Knights of the Round Table. Well, in American, their code names are drinks. They have whiskey and they have bourbon. Like they have these different names, which I'm almost surprised the director didn't just Matthew Vaughn didn't just basically, make them all gun names, right? Because that's what we have in America. We're known for our guns, but anyway. But he's in that movie for like 4 minutes. He's just.
He also has a weird cameo in This Is the End, which is kind of along the same lines of him making fun of being he's like a sex slave to one of them, but it's a cameo.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't take much notes on this movie because I was having too good a time, and I think this movie certainly tracks with my rule of if I take a lot of notes, then I didn't like it. I took very few notes. I love that I love when they're doing the count. They're having an argument how many people they killed. Was it 16 or 17? And they're looking at the camera with the count, like it's kind of a fourth wall breaking.
Breaking, but
they're not breaking the fourth wall. It's their memory and they're talking to each other, but it's to us.
And then the bystander was the 17th one.
Yeah, the bystander. He's like, oh yeah, the bystander. So yeah, you're right, 17. So I love how they did that. And then my next note was I can't wait to see how the snake will impact the story. And
oh, God, I jumped. I literally jumped when it finally bit Brad Pitt. I jumped and
then he throws it in the toilet and then writes the note, "Snake in toilet, don't open," or something like that. Which, again, very nice of him to do. A very very human thing to do. And then the guy goes, "Are you going to be okay?" And he's like, "Well, I actually, coincidentally, I already got the venom for the antidote, so I should be fine."
How many times did that snake bite him, though? I mean, it looked like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it was attached there for a while.
And this thing, sure. It's funny, boom slang. I had never heard that word before outside of Harry Potter.
Really?
It's just as soon as I heard it on the TV, because at the beginning of the movie, the boom slang was stolen or something like that, and all I could think of is hearing Alan Rickman say, "Boom slang skin, lace wing flies, someone's brewing polyjuice potion." And I was like, "Oh, boom slang is a real thing." I honestly didn't know that was a real thing.
It's a real word.
Yeah, I like it because it sounds very Harry Potter made up thing.
It does, yeah.
A boom slang. Anyway. And then my last note was, haha, he made him pay for his water. That was my last note. So I had such a good time with this movie. So all right. Well, I'm ready to play our game. Andrew, are you ready to play our game?
Yeah, but I do have a question first.
Okay.
How did the older guy at the end, the older Japanese guy, know that his son was still alive? Because we all thought he was dead. He'd been shot. He was in the bathroom.
I thought it was a gut shot too.
Yeah, and he comes on and he's like, "My son is not dead." How do you know that? Is it intuition? What's happening here?
I guess there's some intuition there, maybe a little bit of Eastern mysticism. Also,
Yeah.
I think we should be prepared for Andrew to disappear again because he's freezing up like he did last time.
Oh, good.
Oh yeah, we've got a voice, not a. Oh, but no, he just blinked.
Yeah, right when
I've just been sitting really still.
the part where Andrew's about to host the show now, and
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. I do still have in my notes section the trope section of the game of the script, but this movie there was lots of tropes, but I don't care. I just had such a good time. It was fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Andrew. With I guess I should play this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
That's still the sound I have for our news or for the game. So that's still going to be the sounder for the game.
Okay. Well,
go ahead. You go ahead and take it away. Explain it away.
You guys are going to play against each other. I got 5 questions. Whoever answers gets a point. And we'll randomly start with Sean.
Yeah. Also, I just realized as I'm getting ready to say, hey, let's start playing the game. We didn't play any clips yet.
Oh.
Did you get clips?
I have clips.
Okay.
I didn't play any of them. So obviously, it's been 8 weeks since I've done a podcast. So we'll do the clips real quick, and then we'll go back to the game. I apologize. So
remember what I just said, and now listen to some clips.
Now listen to some clips. Again, if you say the name of your movie, I will capture it.
Okay, here we go. The bullet train has 16 cars, 10 economy, 6 first class, and remember, only 1 minute stop at every station.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you know who that was when you first heard her?
No idea.
I didn't either.
It wasn't until she showed her face on camera, to which my wife said, "Ooh, she's had a lot of work done."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just thought it was heavy makeup, but
plastic. There was a little bit of plastic there.
Was there? Oh,
yeah,
Botox maybe.
She's had maybe, I don't know. It she looked like she couldn't move her face expressively. I don't know. It's been a minute since I've seen her in a movie.
She was looking a little old in Blindside.
That was 10 years ago, though. That movie.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying.
So this is a clip. So I have a confession to make. Okay. Sometimes when I talk to Sam, I actually record our conversations, and he's unaware of them. So sometimes I use them for the podcast. He just doesn't know. But this is literally me talking about the podcast that we're getting ready to do, and I'm just getting so frustrated with him.
Do you honestly not know who the White Death is?
Yeah, I know the White Death. You just told me 5 minutes ago. He cuts off arms.
Why do I even bother forwarding you the briefings?
I do not know.
Just, I keep trying to inform Sam, but he just doesn't pay attention to the briefings. So, yeah. All right. Also, for some reason, my filter made it sound like we're British. I'm not sure why, but that was me and Sam. So,
Just happens. Yeah.
It happens. This also made me laugh.
First his wife, now his son. That's a lot of white deaths.
Yeah. It's funny because the guy's named the White Death, so that's why it's funny. I like when Brad Pitt gets so frustrated here too.
Really? You don't remember me?
You look like every white homeless man I've ever seen.
Okay. Well, I have something I believe you're looking for. Really? You don't remember me?
I'm sorry, man. I remember Johannesburg, but I don't remember you, all right?
You shot me.
You shot me
Twice.
twice.
Yeah. Apologize twice.
Yeah. We've already kind of mentioned this moment earlier.
You don't have another one? You got to be better prepared. I'm mansplaining again. I'm sorry.
Mansplaining.
Can I get you something?
I don't really think that's what mansplaining is, but it's still pretty funny. I think mansplaining would be more like you don't have another antidote. An antidote is when I think that's more than mansplaining, but anyway, it was still a very funny scene.
I think you're now mansplaining about mansplaining.
I think maybe I am. Actually, it's funny. You're not wrong. And this is about 24 seconds, but it's this really kind of fun scene, or not fun, but this really kind of emotional scene with the father, the old man. They all had titles. I can't remember his title. Like he was the old.
His was the
elder,
the elder. Yeah,
the elder. Like yeah, with that between him and Ladybug, and then of course Brad Pitt had the little kind of thing at the end here.
Tentomushi. As a boy, I was told there is a spot on its back for each of the 7 sorrows of the world. You see, Tentomushi is not lucky. It holds all the bad luck so that others may live in peace.
I don't want to hold the 7 sorrows.
I loved right before that story. Let me tell you a story. No, I'm good.
Yeah,
it's a very short story. No, it's seriously, it's okay. But it's a very good story.
Yeah, and
then he goes into it.
I'm just gonna say anyway. Right, that was funny because that's when he was like, "You okay with your hand?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't even got the antidote." Yeah, that was great. This movie also is like rife with, Marvel connections. Which is pretty cool. Like the guy there, the elder, he's in Endgame.
Yeah.
He's the guy what Hawkeye kills in the street. You got Zazie Beetz, who's obviously in Deadpool 2, and Lemon is Quicksilver. He's the fast dude.
I forgot about that.
Age of Ultron. And there might be other ones I don't know, but those are the ones that I guess, and the director. I guess you got to count the director. But I just also realized that the actor who played Wolf, his name is Bad Bunny. His name is Bad Bunny. I mean, that's obviously not
name is Bad Bunny.
That can't be his real name, but that's his name, Bad Bunny. He's a musician. I guess he's an artist or a rapper, probably. Yeah, most stuff he's known for are music videos and things like that. Yeah,
I feel like I'm on the Polar Express now. Oh, that's so. You can clearly tell there's no soul there. If you're listening, go to YouTube.
Oh my gosh, and Tangerine. No, sorry, Lemon. Not so. Tangerine was Quicksilver. Lemon was Into the Spider-Verse.
What was he?
Well, okay, so he was also in Joker. It just says Jefferson Davis voice. Like the Confederate president, Jefferson Davis. I don't remember what that was in that movie.
No, I don't
seen
either.
That movie 7 or 8 times. Well, he's also in the Eternals. So, yeah, again, a lot of them there. Okay, now we're ready for the game. Andrew, assuming you're still here.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's play.
Yes. Oh, okay, I'll do this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
All right, now we can play.
Okay, first question. When Ladybug is going to the lockers.
Who's this for? Me?
Yeah, it's for
Okay,
you.
sorry.
Yeah. When he's going to the lockers to retrieve his items, what is the number of the locker?
I can't remember. 47. 047.
That's incorrect. Sam, do you have a guess?
It's 093?
It is locker number 523.
523.
You got one of them, right?
Yeah. Nice.
All right, Sam, this question goes for you, and it has to do with the locker. 3 watches are in the locker. What is the time on all of them? And it is
Like
the same time.
It's 3:30.
Sean.
8 a.m.
7.
Or 8. Oh.
7. It does, we don't know if it's AM or PM. But 7 o'clock is what's on all 3 watches. All right, Sean, back to you.
Yep.
The Japanese #1 television show, Mamanga. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, you're good.
Airs at what time on what day?
Wednesdays at 3.
Sam?
Want to say it's Saturdays at 9.
I'll give you half credit. It's Thursdays at 9 p.m. Excuse me, 9 a.m. 9 a.m.
All right. I guess I got to keep score here.
All right.
Okay.
Sam, we're now back to you. Question number 4. How many attempts were made to kill the White Death within his own organization?
6.
This is a line from the Prince girl.
Yeah, 6.
All right, Sean.
13.
If you reverse those numbers, you'd have it right. 31.
31.
31 attempts.
Every answer. I love it.
All right. Last question. And this goes to Sean. What is the name of Lemon's favorite gun that Ladybug steals?
Oh gosh, because he says the name of the gun, and I remember saying it out loud because it's the name of another gun, like literally the name of another gun. But now it's not Vera because that's Jane's gun. It's gosh dang it, it's Sam. Do you know it?
I think so.
Go ahead. I can't remember what it is.
I want to say it's Lucille, isn't it?
Lucille. That's it. Lucille is
Lucille.
Yes.
Yeah. Lucille is the name of the van from Leverage. That's what it was.
Yeah. So a point and a
Also
half.
name
You win, Sam.
Woohoo!
Dang. All right. Good job. You get to come back next week. I was actually looking at. We'll keep on going. All right. So one thing that we're not going to do for a while, and we're going to see how it goes, is we're actually not going to do a top 3. We're going to take that section out and just move straight into.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where we give the movie a score. Now, before we give it a score, I do want to ask this question because we haven't done this in a while, and that is, did we like the soundtrack? Do we have any recollection of the soundtrack of the score? do we? Because the guy that wrote it is the guy that he's done other things that we know and we like. And so I didn't know if it was one of those soundtracks that we were like, oh yeah, that was really interesting, or if we even remember it. Dominic,
I enjoyed the Japanese version of all the American songs that I remember.
Well, sure.
But in terms of orchestration, I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
honestly.
Nothing really stuck up.
Yeah, he did the score for Spirited and The King's Man, which we've also watched, and a bunch of TV shows like The Rocketeer, the new TV show, The Rocketeer, and
there's a Rocketeer TV show.
They made a new show where it's basically the daughter of Seaborn and the girl.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly, yeah. He did The Man in the High Castle too. Sam, I think you watched that, right?
Yeah. That's a good show.
So he's done some work.
I'll say it's apt.
Okay.
It doesn't take away.
Apt.
It doesn't take away from it.
It doesn't distract.
Okay. I was just curious. I only ask because again, as I'm watching Picard, I'm when you're using Star Trek music, I'm very aware of it. And there's one thing that they're doing in it that kind of annoys me, and that in the end credits, it's just excerpts from First Contact. Like seasons 1 and 2, Picard had its own theme. Somebody created a theme, but in season 3, I guess they said, we don't want to use that theme anymore. We just want to use old Trek stuff. And so it's just a version of the TNG theme. And then the end credits is just First Contact. So that kind of annoys me a little bit. Anyway.
Interesting.
All right, now back to this.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where we're going to give this movie a score from 0 to 10. Andrew.
IMDb has it at a 7.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has it as a 54% from their...
Really?
Yeah, it's not great on Rotten Tomatoes. And they have an audience score of 76%. So I think that the audience score and the IMDb score are pretty similar to what I'm thinking. I will say it's a 7, just solid 7 out of 10.
All right. Cool. Sam.
Yeah, I'll stick with the 7.34 out of 10. Enjoyed it. I like I said, I watched it twice and enjoyed it both times.
Good.
So it's a fairly decent movie. Now, it's not going to break any box office records, obviously, because it's on Netflix. And it's probably not going to spurn any sequels, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know how you do a sequel unless you're just going to do another one with this character, with him and Sandra Bullock, and then they get to make all kinds of jokes back to the, oh my gosh, remember that time on the bullet train where everything went wrong, things like that. But yeah, I like this. I had a good time. I like your 7s are intriguing me. I don't know, for some reason I actually want to go a little higher and say like 7.9. I had a really good time with this, and so yeah, I had such a blast. So I'm just gonna say 7.9.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that gives us a combined score of something, as I'm having to do that. Oh, that can't be right. Hold on. Yeah, 7.43. Yeah. So good job there. All right. Well, that's it. That's our show. We're going to keep it kind of short, and I think that's kind of how we're going to do things for a little while. We're going to kind of keep them short, a little bit easier to digest. And I'll simply say this: we didn't at all talk about what we're going to do next week, so I'm just gonna say this and see how you guys respond, and just say that next week we're going to be doing Top Gun Maverick.
Perfect.
I think this is going to be a hot action movie summer. I think I'm gonna dub this hot action movie summer. I'm in the mood for some action movies, and that's what you're going to get.
Like the live action Little Mermaid.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm actually looking forward to it. Honestly, I think it's going to be interesting.
My daughter had to talk my wife into going to see that because she wants to see it for her birthday. Oh, we did see the Mario movie in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
Well, Lin-Manuel Miranda is tied to it, so I hope that I trust that he knows what he's doing, and so hopefully.
Well, he probably wrote one of the new songs.
And, yeah, he did. He did.
And I'm okay. I really have no problem with them doing all these remakes into live action. Do whatever you want to do. I know people like my wife are upset because it's like ruining their childhood. No, it's not ruining your childhood. You still have your movie.
Right. It's just a different.
This is just a different thing, and it's fine. The only thing so far that I have a problem with, I have two problems. One is that the lighting and the color looks really dark. Like I know it's the ocean and it's supposed to be dark. There's not a lot of light in there, but it looks too dark of a film. And the crab is freaky.
Yeah. Well, have you seen Flounder yet?
No.
It's even worse.
Oh, is it?
Like Nightmare.
Oh, I haven't watched Flounder. I haven't seen Flounder. The other thing that really freaked me out the other day was the commercial was on, but I was looking at my phone, so I wasn't paying attention, and I heard Aquafina, and I'm like, oh, what is she? And my wife says she's the seagull. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. She gets to play the absent-minded bird. All right, I guess that fits. So, but yeah, next week we're going to do Top Gun Maverick,
Not the Little Mermaid.
not the Little Mermaid. No.
Okay, good. Yeah.
But as always, go to our website, cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com. I think that's still active. And of course, you can check us out on Facebook and Twitter at CheapseatCast. Send us an email to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. And if you do have any requests, I'm all for it. I mean, if you really don't want to watch an action movie this summer and you want us to do something else, that's fine. We were, and we probably still will. I did have lined up for the month of May all 4 of the Next Generation Trek movies that I was going to force you guys to watch. That'll probably happen sometime in the fall. So don't worry.
Oh, so you're going to wait till after my sabbatical again this summer?
I'm going to wait for you to come back and do that. And and we might bring a couple of guests back on that like Cameron from Green Shirt and Jesse and some of those guys, maybe some other Trek fans to really rub it into Sam's face on these. I don't know, we'll see. But
hey, I have been very good to Trek.
Have you?
I don't think I've been mean.
Oh, I
about
guess
Trek.
I guess not. I've just been in a Trek mood recently. I don't know. It's just I've just been really looking for something to just keep me happy, and Trek is just really, especially just like I said, just watching TNG again, and I've enjoyed Picard. Yeah, Picard seasons 1 and 2 were kind of whatever. Season 3 has been fantastic. I mean, it's really, really good. I would almost suggest you watch it, Sam, but you won't appreciate it because you didn't watch TNG. I mean, you might like.
Well,
TNG,
I will say, we were in the camping somewhere, and you only pick up antenna, and they had TNG on one of the channels we could get, and the girls wanted to watch it every night.
Nice.
So it might, I mean, they liked what they saw. So
I hope it was one of the later seasons, like 4 or 5 or 6.
I would not.
You wouldn't know, but yeah, some of those first seasons are pretty bad. Anyway, but that's it. That's our show. That's everything. So if there's nothing else to say, I'll simply say
bye, Felicia.
Thank you all for listening, and welcome back, I guess. And thank you for not giving up on us while we were gone, because we did just kind of disappear and didn't really have a lot of communication. So thank you.
It was yeah. I was busy too. I mean, it's been crazy.
So thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you next week for Top Gun Maverick.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.